No. Goal achieved. Yeah, look at that. Goal achieved. I'll just put it on. Okay, that's a good idea.
Hi everyone, we're going to start on time, but people are still walking in. I'm going to have a glass of wine myself. Would you please? I would like white, not too much. What language you speak to each other? What language?
English?
Oh, I asked for white wine, please.
Yes,
Thank you.
but my hearing is not so good.
Ah, okay.
Mute
How are we
here?
going to do that?
Can I talk to you?
I want to make sure you don't see that, do you? I have to put it further away. Maybe here. Fine. I just want to make sure that they can see this.
Is it good? Recording.
Do you want to sit here?
No, somebody took my red and black. I want to make sure that they can see this.
Yeah, I'll adjust it. So either we're doing like this.
Hello, good looking. Good reminders. We didn't get the memo about this pattern. I have it.
All of it.
Yeah.
No, she never responded.
Part of that, don't you?
Sorry about that.
Well, sometimes we'll go out to eat at like 4 o'clock.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay. But
Pretty much, yeah. Look like special.
What?
You have like what people call me. I want the orchids.
I want to go. I want
So
to be
do I.
part of this business.
Yeah, give me a break. I'm gonna make all the people.
Hey. Yeah, and then you want to get the secondary, no, take me.
What? I've been asked to come speak tonight because I've had 3 Jewish weddings.
Yes, I know, yes, you know. Right. I know, exactly.
I feel so short. And not a phone book, but maybe this is higher.
Is that the second? You want to try this chair?
Yeah, can I switch? Oh, he's bringing me his.
Okay, well, I haven't seen that yet.
Okay, you can give it to her.
The rabbi lecture. Speaker.
Ah, thank you. Okay, so how do we make sure that this?
It'll move with you. So whenever you get up and you go over here, the
Oh, you're
camera
gonna
will.
be.
No, the camera will move with you. So when you get up and you go there, it's gonna follow you to the board. If you're sitting here, it'll focus on you.
Really?
Yeah. So like if you get up and move over here, It's gonna
Yeah, that's-
follow you over here.
Oh,
And then if you go to this side, it'll follow you to the right.
My wife wants to know where the fire.
I think she did it before, but we're saving that. She's got to
Tell her, not
come
me.
Saturday to get that.
Tell her, not me.
I'll tell her.
Hi, everyone here on Zoom. How are you? Woohoo! The group is growing.
Sit over there.
And why not? Sit here. So you can drink and you can eat. Sit by the table. Yoshi, sit here at the table. Don't be a snob. No, but my face is here. This way I can see you. We're gonna have so much fun tonight. Oh my God. So I have a glass of wine. And for those on Zoom, let me just show you what I have here. I have cheese and crackers. Oh, 2 minutes.
Sit in the chair, I have to sit at the table.
You can sit wherever you want, darling. Let's check.
you can't, but you
Okay,
can't
it's
see.
going to get heated here very quickly. Not a whole lot of foreplay. No, just- So, good evening, everyone. Tonight we have kind of a fun subject, and we're going to talk about, what was the subject for tonight? Just to make sure that everyone. Marriage. Oh, and divorce, no, but there's something else there too. Who remember the title? What did you say?
Marriage, intimacy, and divorce.
Oh, that's correct. Marriage, intimacy, and divorce. I don't think that we're going to be able to get to the divorce tonight because we want to kind of bask in the marriage and intimacy. But so we might have to go to the second chapter of this class next week. Okay, agreed? You're all missing out because so many great, good-looking, single men here and great, beautiful girls here. You should have. Okay, right now I have to stop Steve Gross from telling everybody that he's very experienced in all of this, but he came anyway with his third wife. So, we're starting. I'm going to first teach you 2 words in Hebrew. Many of you might know these words, but those of you who don't, that's the time to learn. So how do we say men in Hebrew? We say ish. Okay? Aleph, Yud, Shin. It is, okay? Ish. That is a man. Can you say Aleph, Yud, Shin? Pronounced ish, which means a man. How do you say woman? Interestingly enough, right. We do Aleph, Shin, Hey. Very good. And that means woman. The word man, and before I go into the words, men and woman, ish means men, isha means woman. We believe that Hebrew is a holy language. English is not, or Greek is not, and Farsi and Arabic are not, but Hebrew is a holy language because everything has a reason. And the more you know Hebrew, the better you are able to understand the word and also what's hiding behind the word. So if you see, what are the letters that I'm going to pick on Mickey because Mickey is my friend. She won't be upset. Could you tell me the letter that is in both words? Mickey, which letters? The first one, correct. This is the Aleph. What is the other letters that is the SH sound, right? The Shin. Both words are equal in these letters. The Aleph, they both have Aleph. Ish and Isha have Aleph. Ish and Isha also have Shin. Now, if you take the Aleph and the Shin together, do you know what you have? You have fire. This is how you say fire in Hebrew. Esh, fire, passion. But fire, we know, can be good or it can be very destructive, right? It's very iffy. So both men and women, we have inside of us esh, fire, passion, craziness, and it could be dangerous if it doesn't have a certain boundaries or certain godliness and relationship between men and women. When it's only about what the men and women bring into the table. What do you mean you're sorry? You fired.
Thank you.
This was my friend who made noise bringing us ice for the beer. Again, you should have been here. So we know that the part of Ish and Isha has Esh, which means fire. I try to be creative and make a picture of a flame, a drawing of a flame. So if it's only the physical, what men and women bring to the table, bring to the relationship, it's very risky and it can be destructive and they need to bring something else. So let's see, what does that man has in his name that is not common to the woman? Man, woman, Ish, Isha. What does he have? Give me, what's the letter that Ish has? Yud, Yoshi. Very good. Thank you. I heard Mazel Tov is in order. Okay, so here is Yud. What does the woman have that the man doesn't have? It's the last letter, Isha. What's the last letter? Hey, very good. Now, Yud and Hey together pronounced Ya. What is Ya? When we say hallelujah, what's Ya? Hallelujah. Praise the Lord or praise God. Ya is a way to say God. So, the flame and the fire in both men and women can be destructive if it doesn't have godliness in it. We have to bring into the relationship the divine. In a true partnership between a man and woman, it cannot be just physical. Not me, God forbid, but I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that must have had some sort of romances or maybe one night stand or maybe relationship when they said, what was I thinking? I feel so empty. I don't feel divine, because it was just the esh. It was just the physical. There was nothing divine or godly in the relationship. So what brings godliness and divine into the relationship? Something that is beyond the physical. It is the values. When you are with a woman who has completely, I'm talking now to the men, who have completely different values than you do, it just is a physical relationship. It cannot fly high into a divine or godly relationship. The relationship with the Torah and the Talmud speaks about is that when two people come together and they make sure to bring into the partnership, into the couplehood, also God, also values, also something spiritual that sort of glue them together, that makes, then you can scream, oh my God, because it's fantastic. It's very godly. Okay, are we together until here? Questions? Yes? So,
You say Aish.
yeah.
When you pray Aishayim, he is a different than a different Aish.
One more time.
Aishayim, he, is that different?
It's
It's
Chaim.
It's a
It's etz, which means tree. Very good, but similar. Ash means fire. Okay? And so now we want to talk about a relationship that is not just physical between men and women, but don't get discouraged. I'm going to go into the physical very quickly. You'll be surprised. But first, I want to put it into the right place. A good relationship, according to Judaism, in Jewish, eyes, it has to be the physical and the spiritual, and God has to be in the equation. I once talked to somebody who is expert in relationship, marital relationship, and she said, she explains, so just like when you see a car driving on the freeway, it has four, I'm not a, okay, this is a car, that's, and this is the four wheels of the car, okay? This is a steering wheel. All right. In order for, can you see that? I'm pretty good, aren't I? Yeah, thank you. No? Would you like to correct my car? So, for those of you who cannot see the car with the four wheels, you have great imagination. And they say, how do we make sure that two people who want to create a couplehood and to go through life, to the journey of life together, how do they know that they're going to make it? And they say, just like a car has four wheels, so does relationship. It has one wheel is, I don't know the order, so it's not in order of importance, but one of them is, how do they treat money? One person, if he's going to be the biggest spender and he says, I don't care about tomorrow, I'm spending it all. The other one wants to save it all. They don't look at money in the same way. Some think that they want to be irresponsible. The other one is too responsible, doesn't want to live. I mean, this is constant fight. The next one is.
They call that tire the Isha.
What? This part is usually the Isha. Someone is saying here, the one who wants to spend more. The next wheel is V, for values. What are your values? If your values are very different than my values, we're not going to see eye to eye about, one person thinks tzedakah is something very important. The other one says, absolutely not. Let them go to work. I'm not giving a penny out of anything. I'm not, so they have different values. Or somebody, what values are. I mean, there are a million of different values. If they are completely separated in their values, one person thinks family and friends is wonderful, going out and seeing people is wonderful. The other one wants to be all alone, whatever. This is a different set of values. This is not going to stick. The other one is S. I'm going to put S for sex. Some people think it's not a good word. They want me to call it love. Love is also good. Intimacy is also wonderful. But physical compatibility and that will also, if there's like big differences, it's not going to work. So we have values. How do we treat money and asset and property and love and intimacy? And the last one, I'm going to put F, and this is for the future. Where do you want to go in the future? I mean, you ask a couple and one says, I would like to retire in a very busy Manhattan city. The other one, the partner says, oh no, I'm dreaming of having, a place in the country with lots of animals and not to see cars or trains ever. So they both have completely different future in their mind. Now, just so you know, we can't find a marriage that all four wheels are going beautifully and it's nicely oiled, but you can still drive on the road with one wheel that doesn't have a lot of air in it, or it's okay and we can fix it. Two wheels that are punctured sometime, it's even harder. But there are some people that all four wheels are not compatible, but they are married. So what happened to their car? What happened to their car? Their car is not really driving. It's sitting on the sideway of the freeway, and life is going by their side, and they're not going together, because how can they go together toward the same future if each one wants to go to a different direction? The steering wheel can only go to one direction. Does that make sense? Okay. Does it?
Super, one comment and one question.
Speak loudly because everybody here wants to hear.
One comment and one question. You have L for love, intimacy, sex.
Right.
There's a pretty big distinction between love and intimacy and sex, so I don't look at it as the same thing unless they're both found in the same wheel. And then the question is, where is the godliness
In the
in
values.
the heart?
In the values. The
The
values are God and religion and holidays, and it's something that is the spirituality. All this has to be in this. Now, having said that, here is now we're moving into marriage, and family life is one of the most important things in Jewish values. When the question was asked, how many days did it take God to create the world? He created the world in 6 days, but what has God been doing since the day that he created the world until now? What is he doing all this time? Believe it or not, the answer was he arranges marriages. So there's a legend about this queen who said, that's all God does. He arranges marriages. What's the big deal? She called, I want 1,000 slave men to come tomorrow in a line, and another 1,000 slave women in another line. Look at each other. You're his, you are hers. This is it. How quickly that is. 1,000 weddings I have. And the next day, it's a story. The legend comes that this woman came with a big, bruise in her eye, and this one came all scratched and said, I'm not going to stay with her another day. And she's the one saying, it's like, I'd rather die than be with him another night. And everybody is like complaining. So the story goes to illustrate to us that to arrange a marriage is very, very hard. And God always says, I need help. And that's why I'm one of his million helpers. I love to look at people and say, oh, I wish I could match this beautiful girl with somebody. And I'm always thinking, and you should too, if you know somebody who's wonderful, just think about who will be a great person to match up with her or with him, because God says, I need partnership in this, because it is the toughest thing for me to put two people who are going to actually like each other and love each other and live peacefully with each other. It is very hard, and yet it is one of the most important things in Judaism, because obviously marriages for young people, this is how we bring children to the world, and this is why we have Jewish continuity, and it's just married life is important. To the point, and now I'm starting to go into the Talmud, okay? That in the Talmud, it is said.
So, Rabbi.
Yes.
So young people, at what age are you too old to get married again?
Steve is asking, at what age are you too old to get married again? And I say, a week before you die. If you find somebody you love, go for it and enjoy the last week. There isn't such a thing as too old, okay? If you agree with me, give me thumbs up. Okay, I love that. Thank you. There isn't such a thing as too old. Thank God the legal system did put a limit to how young is too young, because back then they used to marry girls at 12 or 13. Okay, so you found someone wonderful and you are getting married. Now, how important is it to make sure that you cater to all her needs? So, wow, was that funny?
You said how important was it to cater all her needs?
Yeah.
I answered. Very.
Very. Okay, Miki said it's very important to cater to all the needs. But you know what? You're not alone. The Talmud agrees with you. And there are certain things that women has it as rights and privileges, but you men don't. For example, let me start with that. If the woman is sleeping and you feel like you want to make love, are you allowed to wake her up? No. No, and that's not me. That's from the Talmud.
No.
It's from the Talmud. Do not wake her up. If the man is sleeping and the woman feel like she wants a little bit of intimacy, is she allowed to wake you up? Yes. Did you know that? No? Well, now you do. Now you do. Now, the Talmud is, and the Torah very rarely call people a sinner. What do you have? Because it's not really a Jewish word, a sinner. But I found who is a sinner. Let me drink first. If you are neglecting physically your wife who is married to you and she's a good woman, and you don't sleep with her, you don't give her physical affection. 1 week, the Talmud is forgiving you. 2 weeks, you are called a sinner. Is this crazy? But before we go into how crazy this is, 1800 years ago, a bunch of rabbis sat in this big group, just try to visualize it. They're always their big beard, and they're saying, how long do you think a man can just be without it or not give his wife affection before he's called a sinner, before he's called someone who's neglecting, abandoning his wife? Why did this question even come in front of all these rabbis? Why did they even talk about it? I always want to know. So there's many explanations. I'm going to give one of my own. It's not official. It's not a holy explanation. It's just something I was thinking about. If one of these rabbis sitting all around the table had a daughter and she was married for months, 6 months, 2 years, and she doesn't get pregnant, and the family said, no, what's new? And she tells her mom, I can't get pregnant if he doesn't sleep with me. Oh, and she tells her husband, and her husband is one of the rabbis who was around the meeting. And he said, that's terrible. Jewish continuity, in the name of Jewish continuity. And they say women were always sort of taught and was raised to be, not so aggressive. And therefore, they were too shy to ask for what they wanted. So Miki and Yoshi are talking between themselves, and I cannot concentrate. Mickey Gross, one more word, you're gonna have to donate money for every time you interrupt my class. So, wait a minute, it comes out of his pocket. He says, wait a minute.
Steve's.
Hmm?
Mickey
So,
Gross. Steve's.
the idea was not to neglect the women. The idea was to keep Jewish continuity going. And the idea was to make sure that married couple had enough physical intimacy. So I looked for you. I'm not teaching you anything, by the way, that comes out of my mind. I'm not smart enough. Everything is from the Talmud, everything. I'm quoting you from the Talmud. So how many times is the right enough number of times? Is there any kind of a formula? Yeah. It's funny that you asked. There is a formula. So, in the formula it says, what is the obligation of a married man to his wife? And you know what? Intimacy, it could be a hug, it could be a kiss, it could be caressing you, it could be touching your hair, it could be anything to show you are close to me, okay? So, physical affection. So here is the formula. You know what it depends on? It depends on either money or your occupation. What are you? Are you an attorney? Okay, I'm going to come to the attorneys. 1 second. I'm going to read it first from the Talmud in Hebrew, and then I'm going to translate it. And this is Ketubot 61b, straight from the Talmud. And it says, for those of you who understand Hebrew, you can see what I'm going to. It says, Hapoalim Shabbat Achat, Hatayalim Bechol Yom, Hapoalim Shtayim B'Shabbat, Hachamarim Achat B'Shabbat, Hagamalim Achat L30 Yom, Hasapanim Achat L6 Chodashim, and these are Divrei Rabbi Eliezer. Men of leisure, now is the translation. Men of leisure, and I'm talking about people who are independently wealthy, like Steve Gross, this would be you.
He's the one that did the Friday night service.
Men of leisure or independently wealthy, who do not even work much for their work, which is, this puts all the attorneys in this basket. Steve is never going to come back to my class. They must engage in marital relations every single day. So, by the way, you know that in the Tevya, you know, in the movie Tevya, Fiddler on the Roof, when he said, if I were a rich man, sing with me. All day long, I biddy-biddy-bam, if I were a wealthy man. Woo! That's what he meant. That's what he was talking about.
Have more rhyme.
I love your laughter. Who is this? This is Danny Vogel.
Danny.
That's you. You have a good laughter. So let's go back to the men on leisure every day. Every day. Laborers, people who are working manual work twice a week. This is from the Talmud, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't make it up. This is, and then donkey drivers once a week. Why are they getting the discount? Or just once a week, the donkey driver? Camel drivers only once every 30 days. Have you ever rode a camel? You did? I'm gonna ask you, did you? How did you feel afterward? Anything hurt? Sore. So for people who do camel riding every day for 8 hours, they are sore, ladies and gentlemen. So they don't need to do it more than once every 30 days. I don't know if I'm going to have my job after tomorrow because they might think that I'm too crazy for San Antonio, but that's okay. And we have to take a risk. It's all from the Talmud. I did not write it. I read it in Hebrew and in English. I don't add one word. And then, interestingly enough, sailors, how often must they do it? Every 6 months. And only now I know why my mom says don't ever go with a sailor. I had no idea until I read the Talmud. Rivka, I hear your laughter. Oh my God, everybody's laughing.
You're laughing.
So, listen, I'll tell you the truth. If I wrote this, I would be a bit embarrassed. But this guy, the most famous rabbi from the Talmud era, this is the statement of Rabbi Eliezer. He put his formula, and it's in the Talmud forever. So, what is this teaching us? That why the people with money every day? Come on, now let's really think about it. Remember, what do we want? We need more Jews. And if you can afford it and you are rich, why shouldn't you have 12 children? So get to work, and the camel riders are people who work extremely hard for their money and they go away. By the way, they also give one more sentence here that I didn't read. A Talmidim sheyotzim leTalmud Torah, that is not within Talmidim that go to study Torah and they have to travel to go study Torah. It's okay also once every 30 days, but they have to ask the permission of the wives that it's okay with them to be that long out. Otherwise, they have to come home every Friday. And Shabbos is Shabbos. Okay. Any question? This is not a joke, even though I'm smiling because it's fun. This is all from, if you want to write it down, it's Ketubot 61b. Okay? If you want to go and learn more about it. Any comments from the people on the Zoom? Anybody wants to? Oh, you know what? I forgot to look and see if anybody is writing question. I don't know if you do. If not, I'm just going to continue.
I assume that's the minimum, not the max.
Yeah, this is the minimum. Steve said, this is the minimum, right? Not the maximum. Your minimum is once a day. The maximum, God bless you. I don't know what the maximum is. This is the minimum.
Remember, nothing succeeds like excess.
Right, exactly. Okay, and I'm going to go to another chapter in the Talmud. This is from, this is hard. Are we okay? So far, so good? Nobody's complaining? Is this too much?
Are you complaining?
Okay, no complaints. What?
Once a day.
Once a day, okay.
No complaints here.
That's what people are writing on the wall. But this is really tough. For me as a woman, this is hard to read. Ready? I'm going to read it in Hebrew, slowly. It's pretty rated R, but it's in the Talmud. We study Gemara now. Rabbi Yochanan and the Chachamim, they said, כל מה שאדם רוצה לעשות באשתו, עושה. משל לבשר הבא מבית הטבח, רוצה לאכלו במלח, אוכלו. צלי, אוכלו. מבושל, אוכלו. שלוק, אוכלו. וכן דג הבא מבית הצייד. Feminist women would have a demonstration right now when they read it without really understanding. But anyway, this is what it's written in English. It says that Rabbi Yochanan ben Dahabi said, whatever a man wishes to do with his wife, he may do. He may engage in sexual intercourse. I saw you touching him. Please don't right now. This is really suspense. It says he may engage in sexual intercourse with her in any manner that he wishes and need not concern himself with restrictions. As an allegory, it is like meat that comes from the butcher. If he wants to eat it with salt, he may eat it that way. If he wants to eat it roasted, he may eat it roasted. If he wants to eat it cooked, he may eat it cooked. If he wants to eat it boiled, he may eat it boiled. And likewise, he said, with regard to fish that comes from the fishermen. Ladies, how does that make you feel?
Like a fish.
Like a piece of meat, Mickey said. And another woman that I was in my class last time, she was actually 87, and she said, it all depends on the cook.
That's good. That's why they had polygamy.
Aha,
Aha,
more than one woman.
exactly.
Once he wants fish or he wants roasted, he goes to according to the menu. But you cannot wake her up. That's a spare tire, right?
I'm a lawyer, I know the rules. He didn't say he couldn't have sex with her when she was sleeping, he just couldn't wake her up.
Oh. I have to tell you what was just said here. Our attorney said, I'm an attorney. He said, if you want to sleep with her, make love to her, and she's sleeping, you're not allowed to wake her up, but you can still make love to her. Don't wake her up. You can do it without waking her up. This way you don't break the rule. Rivka, I mean, I'm looking at you and you're like still thinking. I mean, did you get it? Okay, yes.
I think because it was written in Talmud times and all these things, that there were many wives, concubines. No?
Not at that time anymore. That was over. 1800 years ago. No more. But good try. No. It's the same woman. But any question about this? It all depends on what kind of.
Just talk out.
It all depends on what kind of mindset you're reading it. And I want to tell you that I want to read it with a divine and holy mindset. To me, what it means that nobody can ever go and bust into your bedroom to critique or restriction or judge you or tell you what you do is right or not right. The Talmud is treating the intimate relationship between men and women as the Holy of Holies. Judaism, and I know a lot of people here on this class are intrigued by Judaism and they want to maybe join the Jewish people. And what you need to understand that physical intimacy in Judaism is holy. Physical intimacy in Christianity is all attached to the first sin. We in Judaism did not come from the first sin. We did not come from the first sin. It's not a sin. Intimacy, physical intimacy is divine and is godly and it is encouraged. And yes, it is a mitzvah and it is a way to reach this divine levels. Dafka on Shabbat, on Friday night, you think Friday night, Shabbat, we have to go to synagogue, we have to pray, we have to daven, we have to study Torah. Yeah, all this is true, but you also, if you have a partner and it's married and it's like it is actually a mitzvah. So we are talking about physical intimacy in Judaism. It is something that if it is right, if all the four wheels are nicely running, and there is the people are the couple is on the same page, that is considered something that will help you reach spirituality. It will help you. And I have a little story to tell you. There was a Chassid rabbi that every night when he went to sleep, he says, God, I'm going to say the Shema. I'm going to daven before I go to sleep. I just want to have a dream that I come all the way up to heaven. And, we believe in like the seventh heaven, it's like levels. And I want to come and I want to experience, even if it's during a dream, how is it to be in heaven with the angels, with the righteous people? So that night, he goes to sleep with his loving wife by his side. And sure enough, he has the dream. And he dreams that his soul is going up to heaven. And the first curtain is opening up. And he's going in. And he sees all kind of beautiful things. And the lights and the stars. And then he keeps on going to the next and the next and the next. And here he went through all 6 levels. And he's about to open the curtains on the 7th heaven to see God's throne. And just at that second, his wife, who is resting by his side, she turns her around and her hand touches his cheek. And he wakes up and he doesn't understand. I was almost there. Why did she wake me up and bring me back to reality? And the interpretation of this mashal, this story is, while you trying to go up to the 7th heaven to think this is where the Kedusha and the holiness is, the real Kedusha is right by your side with your wife in this reality. And that story made me kind of verklempt, because if it's really a good couplehood, that's the divine, that's the Kedusha. You don't have to go find it there, So now that we understand that Judaism does not frown upon physical attraction or physical, affection, it is something that was given to us people, human, to experience. We don't know what's up there, but we know this is one of the gifts that we're giving us here. I will tell you, there was a lady just about 3 weeks ago, a member who actually complained to somebody. She says, my husband died not too long ago, and Rikki was already asking me if she should think about somebody for me. And I thought to myself, that's not a sin. It's not a sin. What I've done, maybe, a person is still, still mourning and not ready, whatever. But it's not my words. It says in the Talmud, lo tov, not good, heyot ha'adam, Adam, levado, by himself. It's not good for a man or a woman to be alone. It's not good.
Wasn't it a tradition in Judaism 2-3 generations ago that if you had a spouse that passed away, a family member would actually want to
Correct.
and become your partner?
Right. So how are you saying, isn't that like, from the Torah? If from the Torah, some people still do it. In the Torah, if a woman was married to a man and the man died but left her without any children, the woman was to wait until his brother was in age where he can marry her so that she can have a child to continue the last name of her husband. Otherwise, he'll go without
It's
the
called
last name.
levirate.
Sorry?
It's called levirate marriage.
Yes, levirate marriage. And that, and if she doesn't, or he doesn't want, there is some sort of a ritual that kind of embarrasses them for not doing it. But yes, it's from the Torah.
So
Thank you.
with Ruth, they had that issue because there was somebody closer bloodline to her husband than the man that she wanted to marry. And they had to go to the guy and say, is it all right? He had to throw a shoe in.
Right, correct. Yes. I'm going to the next. Do you like Talmud? See, people think Talmud is scary, so hard, but there's a lot of good stuff here. And I'll tell you, where I grew up in Bnei Brak, when we studied this, the teacher would say, okay, skip page this to page that. And that's exactly the pages that I ran home to go ahead and read and see what is it that they're trying to tell me not to read. Because let's see. This is kind of bizarre, and I'm going to ask you, what do you think about that? This one says that לא ינהג בה מנהג פרסים, שמשמשים מיתותיהן בלבושיהן. This is like really sort of Aramaic. It says that a man is not allowed to tell his wife, I am going to have marital relationship with you only if you keep your clothes on. You keep your clothes on and I'll keep my clothes on. Listen, I'm not making it up. It's written 1800 years ago, and there gotta be a reason. And they said, Rabbi Yosef taught the following, law that teaches us we should not treat our women in the manner of the Persians who have conjugal relations in their clothes. The Gemara comments and support the opinion of Rav Huna, and who said, with regard to one who says, I do not want to have intercourse with my wife unless I'm in my clothes and she's in her clothes, they say you better divorce her and give her the payment for her marriage contract, the ketubah. Why were they doing this? Why they even came to have a law in the Talmud? Nothing here is, it has to be a reason. Why do you think? Yes. No question. First you answer my question.
I didn't understand the law, but I just want to make sure I got the concept. You're saying, I did it. Theoretically, let's say my wife, I'm going to keep my clothes. You can't.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. Now I got it.
Okay.
We didn't know.
So do you know about this misconception of Jewish religious people? They have intercourse only if there is a sheet in between the couple with a hole in it. Did you hear that? Is it true?
No.
Is it a myth? Yes, it's a myth. I think I know where the myth came from. That's my idea. Okay, I'll tell you in a second. Do you have an idea where it came from? Anybody? Okay.
Where it came from, like what?
How did they think about this craziness?
Okay, I thought you meant like what particular sect of Judaism.
No,
I have heard that myth or whatever it is from more of the Orthodox Chabadnik kind of.
but it's not true. But it's not true. They don't use sheets. So first, not that I knew that. I know that it's not true. I mean, it's like, do you know what a tzitzit is? Not a talit, but a tzitzit. Tzitzit, the tzitzit katan. It looks like
It's like a sheep, but with it.
all right. It's like here you put the head, and then you have the tzitzit, right? So I'm not alone in thinking that the Gentiles saw that hanging on the close. Everybody's there cracking up, laughing. I know. And some of the Hasidish, I'm not saying anything, they're very big men. So it looks like a double bed sheet with a hole in the middle. So, okay, unmute yourself because everybody there is cracking up. I want to hear the laughter. So I think this is where it came from. It's craziness. And in the Talmud, it says the idea for true closeness and intimacy, you need it to be skin to skin. And it's not. But they say that the Persians used to do it with their clothes. And then guess what? I am a daughter of a Persian mom. So I asked her, she said, no, the Gentile Persians, sometime they had a wife, when they had a wife, and they made love to their wives just in the fastest way to have a child, but they had other women were for real pleasure they would go to. And for their wives, that would be, and that's not the Jewish approach. The Jewish approach is that physical closeness bring you together. And then we find out that in the Talmud, it says, it's better for you to divorce her if you are so repulsed by her, then divorce her, but don't do it in a way that there's something in between you two. And what time is it?
It's 7:07.
7:05.
Oh, we're out of time. Time flies when you have fun. You want more, they want more. But let me tell you one thing about it's better to divorce than to be in a loveless marriage that you don't even want to touch the woman. And there is a book that is called Divorce is a Mitzvah. I have the book, and I'm going to use this book for next week to tell you under what circumstance the rabbi said you should really get a divorce. And I will tell you the worst thing is it says, if your wife, this is a quotation from the Talmud, if your wife burns your toast, you can divorce her. So you say, come on, are you serious? And the interpretation in Judaism, the most important thing is the interpretation. What does the commentary say about it? And hold on. And what they say is, if your wife burnt your toast and it got you so upset, you don't really have much love for her. You might as well divorce her.
No more bread and butter, no more toasting. I find my baby sleeping with another man.
So the idea is they're saying, if she can do something so insignificant and it upsets you so much, that means that you should not be with her, and it's a mitzvah to grab the rest of your life and not be married to her. So they're like arguing there, if she burns my egg or burns my toast, and then all the rabbi, I will bring it for next week. So we Catholicism believe marriage for life. Judaism, you gotta be happy. You gotta be happy. So I'm out of time, 7:10. I enjoyed very much. You, by the way, if you write to me what you like or you don't like, only I see it. So it's confidential. You can go ahead and write back to this email that I invited you. And if you can say, Rikki, I want you to talk more about this or about that, I'm here to really please you. However, having said that, I talked to Rabbi Bear, who is our rabbi, and I said to him, option one, would you like to take my Tuesday class and you're the rabbi, would you like to take it over and teach? And he said, no, these are your people. So I just want you to know you're my people. He said, I'll have another class on a different day. You continue. I invited him to be a guest teacher. But I also talked to him about the fact that those people in this class who have a plan to convert to Judaism, he gave me the list of things that he would expect you to know in order to convert. So I want you to know that I put together a list of things, and Jews, you can come to, because maybe you forgot what the other people need to know in order to convert, and you maybe learned it when you were very young and you forgot. So there are certain things that you need to know about the holidays, certain things about the prayers, and so he gave me the curriculum, and I'm going to make sure to insert it into what we're talking about.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Very good. Holly said it went on very fast. No pun intended.
Does anybody remember a movie many years ago?
I love you all, and I'm going to see you again next Tuesday. Bye-bye. Oh my God, such good class. Thank you. Bye-bye. Yeah.
And then the rabbi died.
I did not listen from the beginning, sorry.
And you're still on.
Rabbi and his Rebbitzin were married for.
I can't get up.